You welcome to the HR Spotlight, a podcast where we shine a light on people, careers, and leadership. Oh my God, I am so excited. Before we start 2026, we need to get ourselves fixed in the areas of our careers. I know we are setting goals, we are setting fitness goals, we are setting health goals, but are we really setting career goals? I think that's one of the most forgotten areas. Now let's start. My name is Elizabeth Nabiswa, and I'm your host at the HR Spotlight podcast. So why the HR Spotlight podcast? Oh my God, I want to share with you a lot. And this podcast is from my real life experiences, from navigating unemployment challenges, from career uncertainty. Did I really make the right choice when it came to choosing courses? I think those are some of the questions I was asking myself when I was struggling with unemployment. Then later on, small growth steps began to happen in my life. Then before you know it, I transitioned into the other side of employment. So which means that I was placed in a position where it's me now who is looking for qualified candidates to fill the roles that are available. And oh my God, I think my eyes were opened. And from that particular side, I was able to see what I was doing wrong when I was on the other side that delayed my ability to jump over the other side. So that's why I'm starting this podcast. So if you're someone, a young professional who is navigating employment or career, then this podcast for you. But again, if you're a professional who's just seeking clarity and growth so that you can develop yourself and grow in more senior roles, again, this podcast is for you. But perhaps you are also passionate about people. You want to know more about how do I grow in my role as a manager, then this podcast is also for you. So as you have realized, there is something for everyone. So if I were you, I will run and grab a cup of coffee, because guess what? We want to embark on a career flight, and I don't know where our next destination is. But all I want to tell you is that in this particular podcast, we're going to have practical and honest conversations about people, career, leadership, job hunting. And like many young professionals, I struggled with the reality of feeling unprepared for the workplace. But then when I transitioned to the other side of the work, I also struggled fitting in and being able to lead effectively as a first-time line manager without enough coaching and direction. So we are going to bridge that gap. And I want you to sit, relax, and get these insights so that you do not make the same mistakes I made during that season of my life. So what do you think? Let's get started. And once again, thank you so much for tuning into the HR Spotlight podcast. I want to let you know that in this particular podcast, we're going to shine a light on the world of work. Share, and subscribe and share with the people you love if you believe that this podcast has had a great impact on you at the end of the video. So thank you so much, and let's get into today's conversation. So a few days ago, I was scrolling through social media and I came across a video where there were two young people who wore graduation gowns, and I think they are walking on the roadside. You know, the Gen Zs have their own stories, but I don't want to judge them. So they were walking along the road, and it's like they were looking for a kibanda to buy something. So they get into another kibanda where there was also another young guy who was selling in that kibanda or kiosk. One of these graduates asked whether the seller has pudding or apple, and the seller politely responds by saying they only have bananas currently. And I remember those two laughing sarcastically, and one of them said, this one must have been joking and wasting time in class, or even sleeping when we were busy studying for better grades. And now look at him. While we are graduating, he's in the kibanda selling. I mean, what future has he? And this other guy, who is the seller, was actually looking at them very keenly and wondering, what are they saying? So he politely asked them, from which university did you graduate? And one of the graduates said, and why does he even bother asking where we graduated? But anyway, let's just answer him. And so he said, we graduated from, and then he started the name of the university. And then this boy replies by saying, you know what, I also graduated from the same university 2 years ago, only that I have struggled securing formal employment. That's why I decided for me to survive, let me set up this kibanda as I keep looking for a job. And those two were shocked. I think, I don't know if they bought the bananas, but what I did is I rushed into the comment section to just read what people are thinking, what are their perspective about that video. And what attracted me the most is that almost everyone was saying that was not content, but the reality on the ground. Getting a job is a difficult job in itself, and it requires energy, effort, financial investment, and even emotional investment. And these are the realities we are afraid to talk about. So when we are in school, no one is telling us the truth that is out here. Or just we are hearing from a few friends or few family friends. But if you're lucky, then you will have seen someone who has graduated before you and how they have struggled securing employment. So this leads me back to memory lane when I was struggling to get a job. I graduated from school with the hope of getting a job in the HR industry and start earning well right from college. In fact, I had set up the minimum amount of money that I should earn when I come out of college. What are you saying? I have been in the university for 4 years and I have graduated with that degree. Kwanza, second class upper. What are you saying? That I should come and now you're asking me to volunteer or to go and do internships. So I came out with confidence and hope, knowing that finally my life is changing for the better. But guess what? I was hit with the reality of life. So I started sending out applications, dropping CVs. I will do either online or sometimes just physically dropping in various organizations. And every single day I will go out carrying like 15 or 20 CVs. And so I will walk into organizations and drop them one by one. When I come back in the house in the evening, I will go on my laptop, open the laptop, and start sending out online applications. My God, it was just so tiring. But then I wasn't getting any response, not even a single response from the applications that I made, whether physical or online. So with time, my hope started fading. My confidence started fading. My courage started dying. And I asked myself, am I really cut out for employment? What else can I do if it is not employment? Now reality starts hitting. And luckily, I had started doing article writing when I was in campus. And I will write for clients and I will get some few coins. There was always a broker in between. So I can't say that I was being paid directly by the client. So there was someone who was getting the bigger portion while I do the hard work and get a smaller portion. But now, if this person was supporting me to pay my bills, what option did I have? So I kept doing articles for my clients and with the hope that one day I'll get a job. The thought of investing in writing and positioning myself as a writer also came to my mind. So I started doing that and wanting to get clients directly, but it was just proving difficult. I really don't know what these brokers do because I really tried so many ways. I couldn't get not even a single client. So I came back to the drawing board and I asked myself, and this is like now, 2.5 years later, almost 3 years later. So I came back to the drawing board and I asked myself, I went to school for 4 years. I graduated with that degree. Have I really tried enough? But I continued into writing. And I remember there was a time I came to Nairobi for an interview as an HR assistant and they were paying me 22,000 net. Do you know that I refused that job? Because my expectations were so high. What are you telling me that I need to earn 22,000 Kenyan shillings when writing can pay me that in just 2 weeks? I'll make approximately 40,000 a month net, tax-free. And I was staying in the house, so no transport, no nothing, just food and everything. So I declined the offer. But then, less than 6 months later, ChatGPT happened. Now, all of a sudden, clients started writing articles on their own. And now the number of orders reduced. Now you used to get 3 orders per day. Now a day can go without a job. You can go for a whole weekend, there is no job. And so I was scared. I needed to pay my bills. But I was also tired. I felt like I was in a constant cycle of just paying my bills, get clients, get money, pay bills, start again. This gig was not paying me enough to invest into other things. And it was consuming a lot of my time. Because for you to write a 10-page assignment, that is a project that should take 3 days, but you're doing it in 1 day. So that tomorrow you get another project for you to increase your money by the end of the month. So I felt burnt out, I felt stagnant, and I felt like I was not creating impact. I felt like, no, this is not what I was created for. No, I cannot just be living in this cabin sitter, then writing, paying my bills, and then that's it. I feel like there's more to me. So to cut the story short, I struggled with unemployment for over 3 years. But later on, due to networking, self-preparation, self-evaluation, I was able to now finally secure employment. In another video, I will share more details on now the journey between self-realization and now actively preparing myself and equipping myself with the right skills to attract recruiters and employers. But today in this video, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this unemployment menace that is ravaging many souls in Kenya. Not one or two cases have we heard that people have committed suicide because they did not get jobs. And so someone has been tamarking, someone has been surviving until finally they give up. But what if the real reason behind graduate unemployment in Kenya isn't what we have always been told? What if there is need to change mindsets? What if there is need to look deeper and understand what is really happening? Because I can tell you for free, as someone who's now sitting on the other side of the table, jobs are there. And in fact, recruiters and employers are really struggling to fill positions. Do you know that nowadays it is very rare for you to just interview one set of 5 candidates and then out of the 5 candidates, get one person and give them an offer? Most of the time you will interview 5 set and then interview another 5 set. Now from the 10 candidates, you will choose another 2, subject them to another interview, subject them to psychometrics before you can actually get someone who's close to what you're looking for. Yeah, I stopped so that we can ponder about that. Yes, we can blame the systems. Yes, they are playing a bigger role. In fact, the education system is playing 60%, but what about the 40%? If you can fix the 40%, then probably you can do something. Let's not entirely blame the education system in Kenya or Africa. Can we also share the bit of the blame so that we can do our part and let the government and the country do its part? Remember the part where I said there was a job offer with 22,000 net salary and I refused? Let's talk about that bit where now AI happens and I have no choice but to start looking for a job, doing self-evaluation. Then finally I prepared myself to be attractive to recruiters and employers. But what exactly did I do to secure employment? Let's dive in. So the first thing I did to come closer to securing formal employment is that I swallowed my pride, I dropped my ego, and I became more open-minded to open roles like volunteer and internship. I was open to be used just for a certain period of time, but in exchange, I wanted to gain experience. So what does that mean? The first thing I did was self-evaluation. I conducted a self-assessment, like an audit, to find out if I was really employable. And what does it mean to be employable? I had an honest conversation with me, Elizabeth. Are you employable? If you are an HR or a recruiter seated on the other side of the table, will you hire me? I think that's the difficult question. I looked at myself in the mirror and then I asked myself. The second thing I did after that was to conduct a SWOT analysis. That is my strengths, my weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Using that framework, I was able to list down 5 strengths that I had and how do I build on them to become more attractive and competitive to hiring managers. Then I wrote down 5 weaknesses about me. Now, you know how this is an honest conversation with you. There is no one else involved. So you're not going to lie to yourself. Are you poor at interview? You're not preparing for interviews. Are you poor at communication? Are you so low in confidence level? What are your interpersonal skills? What are your emotional intelligence skills? What is your attitude towards work in general? What is your discipline status? Are you diligent? Those are the questions I started asking myself, and I will even go deeper and open my dictionary. I actually have a big dictionary here. I will go deeper and open my dictionary and try to understand, what does it mean to have interpersonal skills? What does it mean to be highly emotionally intelligent? What does it mean to be confident? Those are the questions I started asking myself, and I bought a book. Here it is. I bought a book, and I will start writing down everything that came to mind. And then I started working on them one by one. I looked for free career coaches online, on LinkedIn, on YouTube. All this was to position myself to be visible to recruiters. The third thing I did was to lower the bar, not the standards. I accepted the reality. So the third thing I did was to lower the bar. I had set the bar so high. I'm a graduate after all. I accepted the reality that my expectations should align with my skills and experiences. I was just out of college. I have never actually practiced. Why am I so entitled? Why am I demanding? So that's when I became open to volunteer positions. I became open to internships. And at this point, I really didn't care how much they were paying me, because all I wanted was experience. So I started sending out applications. I started networking with people and asking them to share with me any open vacancies, whether paid or unpaid, that does not matter. So that's when I got my first internship, and they were actually paying me 12,500. I think God was trying me, but I was ready for it. Now, when you want to know that God works in His own ways, the first internship, I was hired as an intern. But guess what? I was placed in an organization where I needed to manage 70 employees alone. So I was supposed to do training, recruitment. Oh my God, we were hiring almost every month. So I was doing training, recruitment, disciplinary cases, performance management, because reviews would be done every 3 months. Then there were probational reviews. Remember, we are hiring every month. So at least every month, you're doing performance reviews, you're doing trainings, you're doing recruitments, you're doing employee disciplinary cases and dismissal, you're doing payroll. I was subjected to vast areas of HR function. And I never understood my boss, the one at the agency. I don't know if she didn't understood the HR law, but she will struggle helping me. So I had to go deeper and ask other people to help me in interpreting the law. And sometimes they were not available, so I will just be on my own. So I had to learn the hard way. I was thrown in the deep end. Learn and move. So I knew that I would not stay there for long, because that pay was not enough and the agency was not willing to compromise to pay me more. Actually, they promoted me from an intern to a HR role, but the pay was not matching up the HR role. So I tried to renegotiate and it wasn't working. So I knew I wasn't there for so long. So what did I do next? For 5 months, I felt like I am a seasoned HR professional by highlighting your strengths and building on them. Remember the SWOT analysis I did? Now I started building on my strengths. I realized that I had high levels of confidence, and I saw that when I was conducting disciplinaries. I saw that when I was doing interviews. I saw that when I was doing trainings, I realized that I had great communication skills. So how do I build on that? That's the question I asked myself. And I also realized that I could read emotions in the room and adjust accordingly. So emotional intelligence helped me in relating with people, in managing the emotions and my emotions as well. Problem-solving skills. As a HR, some of these decisions you'll make split-second decisions. But at the same time, you need to understand the implications they will have on the business and also on people. So I learned problem-solving skills, and I also learned decision-making skills. And because I was doing disciplinaries almost every day, I had to relearn employment laws in Kenya. I had to learn the labor laws in Kenya and understand them. So I realized that another strength that I had, I was so knowledgeable in HR, in culture. So if I blended this and put them into a portfolio of evidence, then it would be so easy for me to now get another job. And I started applying. It didn't take long. I got another job because I built on my confidence using the already existing skills. I just had to improve on them. So what are the skills do you have that are not necessarily HR, your career related? Writing skills came in handy for me. Writing skills taught me conversational English, taught me written English. I can write you an essay and it will be wow, an essay. So they came in handy. And one thing I came to realize is that when you're so great at communication, somehow confidence just comes naturally and you're able to converse with people without struggling. That eliminates a lot of bottlenecks. So ask yourself, what are your strengths and how can you build on them? I think that will go a long way in helping you build an evidence of a portfolio of evidence. And the next thing I did was targeted improvement. During the SWOT analysis, there were weaknesses that I had identified. Now, this was the time to start working on them. What are these weaknesses? I needed to build my confidence level. It was the fear that I have not, actually my main weakness was the fear that I have not practiced for so long. The fear that I have a gap in employment, so I will not get hired. The fear that I am not experienced enough. So I realized whatever was stopping me from moving forward was actually fear. But I didn't have an actual thing that was stopping me from moving forward. Fear of the unknown, fear of failure. So you know what I did? I started manifesting and meditating. You know, those things look crazy until you are in a hole, and that is the only tool you have to come out of that hole. I'll just start speaking to myself positively. I will look at myself in the mirror and start speaking to myself positively that I am enough, that I am confident, that I have the right skills and experience to start excelling in my career, that I am knowledgeable, that I am great, that I am diligent. I will just speak to myself every single day. I will visualize my future and start speaking it. And if you're a believer, you start confessing it, you start declaring it. And you back that up with scripture. So that helped me remove any form of negative thinking that had been planted in my mind. That planted in a seed of hope, a seed of faith, a seed of confidence. And so I will confidently walk into interviews and see someone there with a folder of so many documents. I wouldn't care. I will go in there and present my case and allow God to deal my case. The next thing I did was to develop an impact-first mindset. So once I was done with the internship, the next role, I wasn't really looking to be paid. I was still looking to now practice more and gain more experience. So when I was applying, I wasn't really focused how much they're going to pay me, what is the size of the organization, in what industry are they, how many employees are they, who is their director. Now, those are the things I wanted to know before I could choose a company or not. So I wanted to impact. I wanted to change. I wanted people to say, Elizabeth came and she led this HR department and she transformed this HR department. That's what I wanted. So I didn't care how much you are going to pay me. I was willing to compromise on my pay. So I realized when you come with a servant attitude, you will just be rewarded. Money will automatically come. But if you come entitled, looking for money, more money, most of the time you'll not get it. So I would urge you, whoever you are, if you're looking for a job, don't say you're going to be exploited. If you're going to be exploited, but in exchange you're going to get skills, guess what? Those skills cannot be taken away from you. You remember that organization where I was working, the internship, where they were paying me $12,500? That is the organization that taught me the most. And yet after I left, those skills are within me, up to date. That person cannot take those skills away from me. That person cannot take away those competencies from me. So either way, it is actually you who's getting an opportunity to learn without paying school fees. If you see it from that perspective, believe me, in a year's time, you'll have gained relevant experience and you'll now be transitioning into paid employment. So let us develop an impact first mindset. And lastly, skill building and proof of work. Once I now joined into my first real paid employment, I realized I was struggling with Excel, I was struggling with PowerPoint, I was struggling with presentation skills. There was so much. Now I was struggling with presenting HR strategic initiatives to the board of directors. Now I needed to get materials that will help me learn how to do that. I needed to get coaching to help me how to do that. So I went online. Others, I met them personally. We got into a program and I developed and built on these skills. And I had certificates. So after that, what happened? The results were tremendous. I remember when I changed my mindset, the first thing, I set 3 goals. Number 1, to secure internship, whether paid or unpaid, within 3 months. Practice for 6 months and then get a 1-year employment contract before I transition permanently into employment. Guess what? As I have explained, in the first 3 months, I got the internship. I worked there for 5.5 months, then I left. I relived in another organization for just 3 months. And you know what? They wanted me to stay. But because I had already gotten my goal, I had received an offer for a 1-year contract, and I wanted to report directly to the directors. I wanted to know what they want, how they think. So that company was giving me an opportunity to practice what I had not practiced before, that I'll be reporting directly to the directors. And I will be managing again the HR function alone. So I left and I went to that organization. I gave myself another 1 year in that company to grow my skills, and that's exactly what I did. But we were not aligned culture-wise and the way of doing things. So when the 1 year ended, I didn't consider renewing my contract. And after that, I got now employment into a different company, and the story goes on. So what I have learned from all this, and how compared to the type of people I am interviewing, there's that part no one tells you, the part where you need to self-immerse, and learn. I remember I was so detailed. I was learning about confidence. Oh my God, I will go deeper. And then give myself 1 week to practice, or 1 month to just practice confidence. That means that I had to get out of my comfort zone, go out there, attend conferences. I had to do something. When you go to church, make sure that you find yourself in a positions where you need to speak in front of people. Communication skills, that one was already great. There were so many things I needed to work on. Diligence, time management, attitude, open mindset, active listening. Oh my God, those are the things that will make or break your career. Leave alone the technical skills. Technical skills everyone has. You see those soft skills, those interpersonal skills that you don't want to learn. The emotional intelligence skills. Those are the key skills you need to learn for you to excel in any modern workplace. Those are the skills you will need to navigate organizational politics. You want to grow, you want promotions, you want reward and recognition. Those are the skills you want. So if you are currently unemployed or stuck in a cycle of rejection, I want to challenge you to do one thing today. Go and conduct a self-evaluation. Do a SWOT analysis. Sit down and write 5 strengths and 5 weaknesses, and 5 opportunities and 5 threats. And ask yourself, how do I start leveraging, working on each and every one of them? If there are strengths, how do you maximize them? If there are weaknesses, how do you address them one by one? You'll have to learn how to work on your strengths. Confront your gaps so intentionally. Your ego, not your standards. So you can lower your ego, not your standards, so that you can work on your experience, exposure, and confidence. Those are key things that you need to excel in any employment setup. And I want to finish by insisting on this. The job market rewards preparedness, not entitlement. So be so ready that opportunities have no choice but to find you. If you felt like this video had an impact on you, I want you to go and subscribe. But the most important thing is for you to share with the person you love. It can be a sibling, it can be a colleague, it can be a friend. Because together we want to fix this unemployment menace that is ravaging the souls of young people. That we have given up thinking that there are actually no jobs. Jobs are there. We are the ones who are not employable. Let's fix our part. Let us leave the rest to the government. But there's so much you can do to ensure that you join employment without struggling like I did. The way, I want us to have an open mindset, because either way, growth comes before breakthrough. So you may want to trust the process. Bye. See you next time.